Have you ever stood by the shore, mesmerized by the rhythmic crash of ocean waves, while at the same time hearing their powerful roar? It's a full sensory experience, isn't it? But have you ever stopped to think about the difference between the waves you see and the waves you hear? They might both be called waves, but they're fundamentally different phenomena. Today, we're diving deep to explore the fascinating world of ocean waves versus sound waves. What makes them tick, how do they travel, and what secrets do they hold? Get ready, because by the end of this, you'll see and hear the world in a whole new way. Let's start with the basics. Both ocean waves and sound waves are forms of energy traveling from one point to another, but how they do it is the key difference. Think of a sound wave first. When I speak, my vocal cords vibrate, pushing and pulling the air molecules in front of them. This creates a chain reaction, a series of compressions, where molecules are squished together, and rarefactions, where they're pulled apart. This disturbance travels through the air, right to your eardrum. Because the particles move back and forth in the same direction that the wave is traveling, sound waves are called longitudinal waves. They need a medium like air, water, or even a solid wall to travel. No particles, no sound. Now picture an ocean wave. If you've ever watched a seagull bobbing on the water, you've seen this in action. The seagull mostly moves up and down, while the wave itself moves horizontally towards the shore. This is a classic example of a transverse wave, where the particles of the medium, in this case, water, move perpendicular, or at a right angle, to the direction the wave energy is traveling. So the water itself isn't rushing to the beach with every wave. It's the energy passing through it that you see. It's like doing the wave in a stadium. People stand up and sit down, but they don't run around the stadium. That's a transverse wave in a nutshell. So, to recap the main point, sound waves are longitudinal, with particles vibrating parallel to the wave's direction. Ocean waves are primarily transverse, with particles moving up and down, perpendicular to the wave's path. But wait, there's a little twist with ocean waves. While they are mostly transverse on the surface, the water, particles actually move in a circular or orbital motion. As the wave passes, a water particle moves up, forward, down, and back, returning almost to its starting position. This motion combines both transverse up and down and longitudinal forward and back components. This is why things get churned up in the surf zone. It's not just a simple up and down movement. Let's talk about where these waves come from. Sound waves are born from vibrations, a guitar string, a drum skin, a clap of thunder, or my vocal cords. Anything that vibrates can create a sound wave by disturbing the particles of a medium around it. The energy from that initial vibration is what gets transferred through the medium as sound. The loudness or amplitude of the sound depends on how forceful that initial vibration is. A gentle pluck of a guitar string creates a small vibration and a quiet sound, while a hard strum creates a large vibration and a loud sound. Ocean waves, on the other hand, are mostly generated by wind. As wind blows across the surface of the ocean, the friction between the air and the water transfers energy, creating ripples. If the wind keeps blowing over a large area of water for a long time, these ripples grow into the massive waves we see. So, the size of an ocean wave depends on the wind's speed, how long it blows, and the distance of open water it blows over, which is called the fetch. Other events, like underwater earthquakes or landslides, can also generate gigantic waves called tsunamis, but most of the waves you see at the beach are gifts from the wind. Now here's a crucial difference that sets sound waves apart from another famous wave, light. Sound is a mechanical wave. This is a fancy way of saying it absolutely needs a medium, a substance with particles to travel. In the vacuum of space, where there are virtually no particles, there is no sound. That's why in sci-fi movies, the epic spaceship explosions should technically be silent. No air, no sound. It can't travel. Ocean waves are also mechanical waves, because they need the medium of water to exist. You can't have an ocean wave without an ocean, right? Both types of waves, however, share some cool behaviors. Think about an echo. That's reflection. A sound wave hits a hard surface, like a cliff face, and bounces back. Ocean waves do the same thing. When they hit a seawall or a jetty, they reflect off it, creating choppy and unpredictable water patterns. Another shared property is refraction. This happens when a wave passes from one medium into another, causing it to change speed and bend. For sound, this happens when it travels through layers of air at different temperatures. For ocean waves, refraction occurs as they approach the shore. The part of the wave in shallower water slows down, causing the wave to bend and align itself more parallel to the coastline. This is why waves almost always seem to roll straight onto the beach, no matter which direction they came from out at sea. Let's talk about scale, specifically wavelength. The wavelength is the distance between two consecutive peaks of a wave. For sound waves that humans can hear, the wavelengths can range from a few centimeters to about 17 meters. For example, a high-pitched whistle has a very short wavelength, while a deep bass note has a long one. Now compare that to ocean waves. Their wavelengths are enormous. They can range from a few meters for small ripples to hundreds of kilometers for a tsunami. The typical waves you see at a surf beach might have wavelengths of 50 to 150 meters. So in general, ocean waves have drastically longer wavelengths than the sound waves we interact with every day. Speed is another interesting point of comparison. Sound travels through air at about 343 meters per second, but its speed changes depending on the medium. In water, sound travels much faster, at around 1,500 meters per second. And in a solid like steel, it can zip along at nearly 6,000 meters per second. Why? Because the particles in liquids and solids are packed much more tightly together, allowing vibrations to pass between them more efficiently. How fast do ocean waves travel? Well, their speed depends on the depth of the water and their wavelength. In deep water, long wavelength waves travel faster than short wavelength waves. A typical ocean swell might travel at around 15 to 25 meters per second, much slower than the speed of sound, even in water. So let's bring it all together. Sound waves are longitudinal vibrations that need a medium to travel, created by vibrating objects. Ocean waves are primarily transverse waves, created by wind, where water particles move in an orbital motion. Sound can't travel in a vacuum, but it travels much faster than ocean waves, especially in liquids and solids. Ocean waves, on the other hand, boast incredibly long wavelengths compared to sound. Both exhibit classic wave behaviors like reflection and refraction, but they are fundamentally different in how they move energy through their respective mediums, air and water. The next time you're at the beach, take a moment to appreciate this dual wave symphony. You're watching the slow, powerful, transverse energy of the ocean roll in, and you're hearing the fast-traveling, longitudinal compression waves that announce its arrival. Two completely different types of waves, born from different sources, traveling at different speeds, yet they meet right there at the shoreline to create one of nature's most beautiful and powerful experiences. It's a perfect reminder of the incredible physics at play all around us, every single day. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the world of waves. If you found this interesting and learned something new, please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to ring the bell so you won't miss our next exploration. What other science comparisons would you like to see? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.